And so, Eric, like we were talking about earlier, our headquarters in New Jersey. We're very heavily invested in the Northeast. And one of the things that's come to show itself up there is called the solar phenomenon. And so we're going to kind of take a look at what that really is. Now, as you can see here, we basically have three big utility markets down here that we typically deal with, and those are Austin Energy, PEC that you're in, and Encore. Now for PEC, let's just say that they have these 10 customers here. Now each one of these X's represents a customer. Austin Energy also has 10, and Encore as well has 10. Now for PEC, just for ease, let's just say it costs them $100 a year to operate. Now that basically pays for repairs on the lines. They have a bunch of trucks that need oil changes and all kinds of things. You know, there's a bunch of workers, they're probably all union, they have to get paid. So that $100 a year, that basically covers all their operating costs. Now what the solar phenomenon is that basically, you know, we have solar as an option. And so, you know, previously, how did you decide on PEC? Oh, you didn't decide. Somebody chose for you? Oh, okay. And so even if you didn't like their service, didn't like their costs, you still have to use them as your utility provider. Okay, it's a monopoly. Exactly. So we are basically giving people the opportunity and the choice now to get away from PEC. And so as people start to make that choice, you can see that, you know, these two customers here, they've decided to go solar. They don't want to be with PEC anymore. And so they're out. Well, as these customers start to leave the utility base, now PEC does no longer get to charge them for their utilities. Well, what happens if these two people leave? Exactly. It still costs PEC $100 a year to operate, but now instead of having 10 people to pay that, they only have 8. So those other 8 people, their costs just went up. Exactly. Now, I know we had talked about that 4% that the Department of Energy talked about earlier. That being said, seeing this, do you think that there's any way that it's only going to stay at 4%? No, I don't think so either. What do you think that that might get to? I know, Eric, it might get to 25%, but, you know, I don't want to scare you out of your own home, so let's just stick with 5 today. I think 5 is a conservative number. Yes, me too. Now, one thing I do like to take a look at here is really what that 5% actually means to you. And the reason I like to do this is because when I first got into solar, you know, one of the very first things I did is I called my parents and said, hey, let's go ahead and get some solar panels for you. Problem was they have a red clay tile roof, and that's like the only roof that we can install on. But my dad's still really excited. But nonetheless, I basically went through the process with them the same way I am with you. And so, you know, when I started talking with my mom about this, what I found was 20 years ago when they bought their house, they were paying $275 a month for their utility costs. Now, 20 years later, my brother and I have both moved out of the home. They now pay $475 for the exact same house. I know, it's staggering. But that is sort of what I like to look at because it's a direct realization of what 4% for you means. And so right now we're paying $120 a month for you. Okay. And so let's just basically see what that means. And so we've got $120 here at 5%. And so basically all that's saying is that next year we're going to be paying $126 a month. Now, we're going to be paying $126 a month. Do you think there's any way you're not going to be paying $126 a month next year? I mean, it's like gas, it's like eggs, it's like anything else. You're right. I think you will too. So this is, you know, now year 2, year 3, year 4, and year 5. All the Department of Energy is saying is that by year 5, you'll be paying $153 a month. Okay, so at this point, what does that really mean, though? Because we're talking about 5% here, 20% there, your bill going up to $153. Basically, all that they're saying with these numbers is that over the next 5 years, PEC is just going to tack 2 pennies onto your utility bill. Do you think there's any way that they would not be able to tack on 2 pennies to your utilities? I think so too. But let's just go ahead and keep looking because this is where things are moving. So this is year 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Year 10, $195. Wow. This is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The Department of Energy is saying that by year 15, you're going to be paying about $250 a month. And this is 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. What the Department of Energy is saying is that by 20 years from now, your bill is going to almost triple into what you're paying. I know, it's for the same power that you have now. Nonetheless, because of rising energy costs, Texas's big move to shut down coal plants and get away and get towards green energy. Yes, I think that basically that is the way things are moving for you. Now, I used to do all these numbers by hand when I first started, and I very quickly realized that nobody wanted to watch me do math for 10 minutes, and so thankfully I got an app that was able to do this for me. And basically all this is going to do is really take a look at what this costs you over the course of 20 years. And so all we have here is, right now we're going to be doing $120 a month, and every year it goes up 5% like we were talking about. Yes, I know you thought it was 25. Let's just keep it at 5 though. And basically what that is telling me is that over the course of 20 years, you're going to pay somewhere over $40,000 for this energy cost. And the crazy thing with this is, what are you really getting for it? I mean, sure, you're getting your power, but you're just renting it. I mean, the reason you bought your home is so that the money you paid into where you live was an investment for you. Exactly. So just because I'm already here, I like to look at it and see what these costs look like over 30 years. And so 30 years, you're looking at paying somewhere in the neighborhood of $70,000 for your power. Now, let's go ahead and see what this is going to cost you on your solar side. All right, give me 1 second to see if they've gotten back with me yet. Awesome. Okay, so we got the numbers back from my team. We have you at, for your solar system, just $150 a month. I know, it's amazing. And the best part about that is that number never changes. And so while your bill fluctuates, this one always stays the same. So Eric, really the next step of the process is I'm going to go ahead and get you qualified with Dividend real quick, and then we can move forward from there. All right, what was the last 4 of that social for you? Thank you. Congratulations, Eric. We got you in a solar system.